I am so excited that you're all here, and this is specifically going to be focused more towards our new pet pros that are pet sitters. Maybe some of you have been pet sitters for a while that have been with us, and some of you might not even be a pet pro yet or brand new, just listening in to hear, what is it like for pet sitters out there? Because really, they do operate differently than the rest of us. And that's kind of the beauty of what we have here, is something that, lots of pet professionals, whether they're groomers or trainers, or we have some responsible breeders, and then pet sitters as well, which would be yourselves, have been able to earn extra income on the side to add to their businesses. So that's what we're going to talk a lot about. So welcome, and we're glad you're here. We're going to try to keep this to about 40 minutes, but it will depend on questions at the end. And like I said, I mentioned you can put some questions in the comments, and some people might answer those for you, or we'll come back to them. But whatever we do tonight, our goal is to help you come away knowing, what to say. How do I do this? We get a lot of, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to, I'm worried about my pet sitting clients saying, oh gosh, what are you, there's this feeling of, will I lose them if I introduce something like this? There's a lot of fear around that. So we're going, and even if you're not a pet, not a pet sitter, there's always that fear no matter what. So it's just kind of universal, but we'll help you see it as, okay, here's some pet sitters that have done it. They've had success. This is how they do it, so that it's not something that you need to be afraid of. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Carrie now. I'm so excited to have Carrie. I know that I had a bio for you all to see that kind of introduced her, but I'll kind of go over some of those things now. But Carrie is very well respected in Chicago. You're in Chicago still, right, Carrie?
Mm-hmm. I'm in the burbs, but yeah, pretty much Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, so Chicago area, the suburbs. But she's very well respected there. And she's also had a bunch of, I'm trying to find my notes, Carrie. Oh, there we go. Okay. She's also, I don't want to say these wrong, but PSI gave her the prestigious award of Pet Sitter of the Year, as well as NAP's Business of the Year award. And then she was also a top finalist for the most influential women in the pet industry. So not just in pet sitting, which is incredible. And then in pottery, she's also been given the Rising Star Award, and been given the Top in Sales Award in 2019, so just last year. But she really has had amazing success in marrying the two together. So it's just another service that she provides for her clients. So I want to show you, I'm going to start out by sharing one short story, and then I'm going to turn it over to Carrie. I don't want to be yapping all night. You don't want to hear from me. But I did have an experience in the pet sitting world. It was, I was invited to go to the last NAPS conference, in-person conference that they held in Atlanta, Georgia. I was there, and we were one of their sponsors, actually. And we were just there to, talk to different pet sitters and let them know what we have to offer. And the interesting thing to me was this. So I don't remember if she's the president or what, but there was somebody that was the head of NAPS that gave a speech, and she was telling pet sitters, okay, we have Rover, and there's another big company out there that was kind of taking some of their clientele away. And they were saying, okay, what are we doing to compensate for that? So what she was sharing is the best thing to do, and these are her words, the best thing to do to compensate for that is give your pet sitting clients another reason to hand you their credit card. That's what she said. And then she went in to provide examples to what that meant. For example, she was saying, if you can provide other in-home services. For example, she was sharing that someone had actually had an electrician that they had partnered with. And if they needed plumbing or electricity work, they could say, oh, well, here's a plumber and I get a cut of that. And here's an electrician and I get a cut of that. And I was sitting in the back saying, hello, what about us? Like we're pets too. We're not house, we're like pets, So it was interesting because then after that, a lot of pet sitters came up and were asking more questions because they put two and two together. They were like, well, I can always add pet nutrition to my my list of services. So that was my experience in Atlanta with naps. And I thought it was very, very interesting that she was training the pet sitters there and broadcasting from around the nation to do the very thing. And whether they search for something that was pet related or not was, who knows what they all decided to go look for. But we are that perfect, it goes hand in hand. So now I want to just turn it over to Carrie. Carrie, we would love to hear from you and your story. And I don't even know if I know your full story, to be honest. Like from start to finish, I've just been enjoying working with you over the last few years, or a couple years.
Thank you, Amber. I'm so excited that you guys came on this. This is great. We have a good amount of people on, so that's good. My story is I actually sat on the idea for 2 years. Many of us that are as a part of this, Kara's on here right now. She sat on it for 5 years. I sat on it for 2 years, and because of all the negative stigma that was around, MLMs and all that jazz. And I said, I don't know that I can do this. I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want to be involved in that stigma of things. And then it got to the point where I really needed some extra money. I wanted to bring in another, like Amber had mentioned, service to be able to provide my clients, to give us a leg up on the other pet sitting businesses that were in the area. And this was something that was wonderful that we could provide. So I started researching it. I had been a vet tech for a while before I got involved in pottery, and before I even got involved in my pet sitting business. And so I spoke with a bunch of different of my, veterinary friends that I had, and they all were willing to say, yeah, these products look like they would be something that would be good for, you to be able to recommend. They looked at the ingredients and all that jazz and said, yeah, this stuff looks good. So I was like, okay. I still wasn't sold. And I was like, I'm going to try it on my own pets. And it changed their lives so drastically that I can't even start to tell you guys how drastically my dog's lives have been changed because of pottery. And, we're all in this because we love pets so much. And to be able to see that immense change in my own pets, I was like, I'm sold, sign me up. Where can I start sharing this with my clients? Because I want to be able to have an impact on them like I was able to have an impact on my own animals. I have 3 little dogs. And so I just jumped in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this, if you've ever heard Amber's story, Amber was like, I'm going to give it a year. For me, it was like, I was still a little leery when I started. So I was like, I don't know if my clients are going to listen to me. I don't know if they're going to take me seriously. So I'm going to give it a couple months and see how it goes. And it was like the most amazing thing. My first month, I somehow hit top in sales in that month in the company, my first month, because I was willing to just jump and got excited and wanted to talk to all of my clients about it because I was so passionate about the fact that I was able to help their pets. And the rest is kind of history, I guess. At this point, I've just been, when you're so passionate about something and you're able to take that passion for helping pets and for helping people into your day-to-day job, it's incredible to be. And I'll tell you, the second you start sharing it with your clients and they start sharing testimonials of how this is working and how you're able to change their pets' lives, it becomes addicting. I'm just warning you guys. It becomes something that's very addicting because you just want to keep helping more and more and more pets. And I would have clients that had my particular pet care business is based around very, very special needs animals. So we do some healthy pets as well, but a lot of the clients that we work with are special needs because I do have the veterinary background. And so we've had dogs that were just like, we do a lot of hospice care, And so we see animals that are very, very arthritic, just to give you an example, very arthritic, that go from not being able to walk very well to running like puppies again, when they're on the joint support. And it's just like an eye-opening thing, like, wow, I did that. And the thing is if I wouldn't have gotten out of my comfort zone and just did it and just went and talked to my clients, I wouldn't have been helping a single one of those pets, because I would have been too caught up in my fear and my shell of not wanting to talk to them. And I feel like when it comes to pet sitters, that's what happens. We get stuck in our own heads. We question, am I going to say the right thing? So on and so forth. And then we wait to talk to those people about specific products that could help their pets. And then either something happens to the pet and they don't survive something and we wish we would have helped earlier, or it's just, I can't even describe. We help people's pets every single day by taking them for midday walks, or giving them fluids, or giving them insulin injections, or this and that. And the only time that we can help these animals is when we are there with them. That's the only time we have control over their well-being, is when we're with them, correct? So what if you were given an opportunity to help them from the inside out when you weren't with them, or help them with issues that they had that you could now help to control, and you didn't have to be there doing it? Does that make sense? It's such an incredible thing to be able to share it with your clientele. And so for me, I just jumped right in, and I was like, I'm just going to tell as many clients as I possibly can about this. And then the testimonials started coming in, and then I just wanted to share it with everybody. And now I'm here. Really, I mean, it's really just that simple. If you're willing to just step out of your comfort zone, to just talk to people and just do it, and take your passion and love for these particular individual animals and help them with their specific issues that they have.
So Carrie, I love your story. I didn't know that many details. I knew bits and pieces, but not all of it strung together like that. So I love that. But I would love to know a couple things that would be so nice to know before we end tonight. And maybe even right now, if you could jump into, we're going to start talking about checklist things and words to say we have to get through for sure. But has it made a difference in your income? Like, give us an example of, has it helped? Has it, we talk about just another service, but as a business owner, you want to make sure it's something that really is going to be worth it monetarily as well, right? So give us a little bit of an idea.
I would say that I really, and a lot of you can probably jump on board with this, I really struggled because when I started my pet care business, I wanted to get as many clients as I possibly could as fast as I could. And I built myself up to so many clients that I was so overworked and so just almost to the point where it was like you were just strung out because you were so busy all the time and so stressed out all the time. And that's not the best way to obviously live a life, but all of us pet sitters have to deal with that a lot, that burnout, the issues of burnout that we have. And I will say that because of Pawtree, because of the income that I make with Pawtree, I've been able to substantially lower the amount of hours that I have to put in to the pet sitting side of things. And I've been able to have the opportunity to actually breathe and have a social life. What's that? A lot of us are like, a social life? What's a social life as a pet sitter? We don't have that. We're working from morning jobs to midday jobs to evening jobs. But to actually have the opportunity to bring something into the company that allows you to breathe as a business owner, or allows you to breathe as a pet sitter who's taking on so many jobs just to survive, is incredible. And for me, even before the COVID thing happened. Now my business is completely shut down now because of all this stuff going on with COVID. So the only income I have coming in is pottery. And I'm actually able to comfortably survive right now with my pottery paycheck. But it got to the point even before the COVID happened where I was ready to just say, I'm willing. I started backing down on the amount of clients I had. I started backing down on my business because I love what I do with pottery so much that I want to do it full time as opposed to the pet sitting side of things full time. And I know that I can do that with pottery. So
Interesting. So Carrie, one thing that I do remember about you, and then we'll get into what, some of those list items that you guys can focus on to help you get started and know what to do, is I remember you had told me that you hadn't taken a vacation for years. And I can't even fathom that. I feel like, knowing how hard you work and that you never took a break was just unreal to me, because I don't have that ability to just work and work and work and work and never take a break. So, but now you've gone on all sorts of trips. So some earned like incentive trips. And anyway, I think that's pretty cool as well. So I'm grateful that you're able to not stay in burnout mode all the time,
Right. It's an amazing thing to be able to still be able to help pets, but be able to have somewhat of a life again. And I will tell you guys that burnout lifestyle that we all live, I was doing so I've been a part of pottery for about a year and a half. And the only time that I was spending on pottery was with my commute to my service area and in between clients, or like at a meet and greet if for some reason a client mentioned an ailment or an issue with their pet and I had a solution that I could share with them right away in person, because doing things on the phone or in person is always the best way of going about things, because that passion and excitement is there, and that kind of helps the situation when it comes to sharing things with people. They gain your excitement when you're excited and passionate about something. But the only time that I had available to work on pottery was, maybe an hour or two per day. So when people say, oh, well, you've been a part of pottery for a year and a half, and that's why you're doing so well and everything like that, because you had a year and a half to build it. Well, I didn't, because if I add up the amount of hours that I actually spent, it's probably, it's probably only a couple months worth. Unfortunately, I hate to even admit that, but if you put all the hours together that I actually spent on it, that I had to spend on it, it was very little. So the beauty of the situation that we're in right now is that we're able to have all this additional time on our hands. I wish I had this much time on my hands when I first started to really get into the training, to really get, become a part of the community. One of the things that I did right away when I started, and it was probably one of the best decisions I made when I started, was I befriended as many active people in the pottery world as I possibly could, because I wanted to get involved in the community. And although people maybe don't understand what that does, it's incredible, because if you have a problem, you don't just have your upline, you have all the people. There's people on here. Taylor is not on my team, but Taylor and I talk every day, and we actually chase each other. It's kind of funny. So if you have a buddy that you can chase, or a buddy that you can run with and friendly compete with, that's something that's really fun. But the community was such a huge thing for me as well. All we do is talk to animals, really. A lot of us don't have social lives, so all we do is talk to the animals, and it gets a little bit lonely sometimes, when all you're doing is hanging out with the animals. Although we love them, that human positive interaction is so important. And so one of the many things that I would definitely recommend to you guys is jump into the community and get involved as much as you can during this time that you have to do so.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a perfect segue into just kind of looking a little bit more of the details as far as what to do next. Okay. So you've heard Carrie's story, which is so great. Carrie, thank you so much. So many valuable things that you've shared. And I think that many of you can relate to that. So now I'm going to share my screen. And maybe you've seen this before, maybe you haven't. And if not, that's okay. That's what tonight's all about. So, oh, hang on. It's not giving me the option for the one I need. Here we go. Okay. Okay, let me know if you cannot see this. But as far as what I can see, it looks like you can. So this is a, let me see if I can make it smaller for everybody so you can kind of see it more at a glance. So this is a PDF that we have that you will want to have, and just as far as like print it off. And as you can see, it says, okay, check when completed and complete by this date. And this is something that you can do. You don't have to focus on it. There are some people that they're like, I just want to focus on, you know, gathering 3 customers or something like that. And I don't care about the time frame. I'm just going to take this at my own pace. But this is a little bit more for if you want some bonuses, and it keeps you on track of just learning at a certain pace, so that you feel by the end of this, if you're keeping track of it, and you'll have bonuses, and you'll also be comfortable in what you're doing as well. This is more to get you off onto a fast start. That Carrie had said, hey, I wish I would have had time to do this when I started, even though you still got off to a really fast start, Carrie. You've got to give yourself some credit here because you were a fast mover. But basically, if you've enrolled this month, I don't know if you enrolled this month or last month, so that will change some of these dates. But within your enrollment month, you want to set up your own first Easy Ship order, become your own first customer. And there is a lot of value to that. It's not just, oh, we want you to spend money with us. No, 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 no. We need you to do exactly what Carrie did and say, okay, I need to know this stuff works. We want you to have your firsthand experience so you can be excited about it and understand what you're sharing. If you have never tried anything, you would be saying something like, oh, I've heard this is good, try it. I don't know if it'll work. And that's not very compelling. But if you have a story, and Carrie has some really incredible stories, some personal ones as well as with clients, that she's been able to say, this is what happened with this dog and this cat and this dog. And she's able to, you know, with confidence say, you should try this. And if it doesn't work, the company will refund your money. So set up your own first Easy Ship order. You'll get a free paw pairing. Those are our sprinkles that we're known for, which are raw, freeze-dried. You can see a picture of all 7 of them down below. And then also within your enrollment month, you want to become what we call a Fast Start Star. And what that is you want to have just one customer that's on an Easy Ship, has their own Easy Ship order, and you want to have 100 in personal volume. And that can be your own order plus that customer. It can be all one customer, but any combination. But if you're going to set up your own order, it's just that next customer will get you there, and you get all 7 of those paw pairings. And those are incredible to be able to share, to be able to have yourself. They really are helpful to have to get started. The next thing is within your first 30 days, we have an app. It's awesome. It helps you share. It even has words to say that you can use. You can use it to, it gives you notifications when somebody watches a video or places an order. You can look at your back office. If you don't know what that is, it's basically, it gives you a snapshot of what's going on every month and during that month. So you can quickly go to that. It has links that you can share easily. So for example, if you have a pet owner and you know that their pet is arthritic or does have skin and coat issues and they're looking for something to help with skin and coat, you can say, oh, you know, I'll send you, do you mind if I make a recommendation? They say yes, you send the link, and we're gonna wait for Carrie to kind of give words. I'm kind of sharing what I use and what I've done, but I don't wanna step into the pet sitting world because that's not where I live. But anyway, so you can send links is my point. And then your enrollment month or your first full month, you can also step into becoming what a Fast Start Superstar is. But what I would do, instead of going into what a Fast Start Superstar is, what I would do is I would, and we'll make this link available to you. I mean, the PDF, we'll have a quick access to that for you to use. But while Carrie's talking, I'll upload it into the notes. So you can either look at it from the chat box here. We'll also have it on, you can reach out to any upline or sponsor. They can put you in touch with this document specifically. But what I would do is just put your dates in and then focus on step 1, step 2, step 3. So I would really be focused on just becoming a fast start star first and getting your app training done so you can have 2,000 PA points, okay? If you do have questions, let us know, but we're gonna kind of keep it right there. But know that as you progress, you can earn this $50 bonus and $100 bonus and $225 bonus. We have had people that have earned all 3 of these bonuses within as little as 14 days. So just know that this is something that they give you plenty of time to do. But the faster you do, the faster you're comfortable with sharing, knowing what you like to say, knowing what works for your clients, knowing what works for you, and you'll also have that money in your pocket. Another thing that is really helpful is if you know somebody, if you have a buddy or a good friend or a family member that they're struggling right now as well, you can say, hey, do you want to do this with me? And if they do the same things, then you get matching bonuses. So let's say you knew one person, you would get that $375 bonus that they got plus what you got. We have a team of actually in the pet industry that joined a couple months ago, and they've been focused on, the leader said, okay, I'm going to get all of these bonuses as quickly as possible, and then I'm going to help my team get the bonuses as well. And she's earned a lot of money, over $1,500 in a very short amount of time. So it does add up quickly if you just stay focused on what do I do first, second, third, and staying in touch with your sponsor. Whoever brought you into the company, they will take you through everything step by step. Okay, so we're going to stop there with that. If you have questions, let us know. We'll answer them tonight. And we just want you to feel like, okay, yes, I know what to do. And it's as simple as, who do I know that I'm comfortable sharing this with? And who do I know that I would love to, that would appreciate doing this with me? Just start making a list. And then Carrie, I'm going to turn it back over to you to share what you like to say. What's worked for you? We'd love to hear these few things. So what has worked for you as far as words to say? I'm going to stop sharing. And let's see, words to say, and then ways to talk to clients. So yeah, those 2 things would be really, really helpful.
So this is a big one that I really, you'll probably in the company hear me say this a lot because it actually works, is asking permission to sell to someone. That's probably if you have one thing that you can take away from this entire thing, this verbiage is going to be it for you. Okay. And it's something that has worked for me over and over and over, like 99.9999% of the time. So the thing that's ideal about what we do is we already know what the animal eats, what their issues are, maybe somewhat of an idea of what the owner's budget is like, the personality of the animal, the history of the animal. We know their pets because we're with them every day. And even right now, even though we're not with them right now, we have been with them every day. Or during their vacations or so on and so forth. We know their pets. That's why they trust us to continue caring for them. So what I like to do is take specific things about their pets that may be of a concern to them and point them out. Even if you've pointed them out before, point them out again. And obviously we're in a different time now, but I'll give you guys an idea of what I was doing while I was still caring for them at the time. Okay. So, I had a senior dog who was really starting to slow down. It's the story I told earlier. The senior dog, I was really starting to slow down. She was having a really hard time standing from a seated position. She couldn't take stairs anymore. She couldn't jump up into the car anymore. They stopped allowing her to go on walks for very long durations. It was just quick inside and out because she was just so arthritic. And I said, I would say something like, I've noticed that Fluffy or whoever is having a harder and harder time with her arthritis. And then point out things that you're noticing. So point out, I'm noticing she's not taking stairs like she used to. I'm noticing that she's having a harder time getting up from a seated position. Like, point out details that you're noticing. So they're like, oh, this person actually is pointing this stuff out. And sometimes maybe they don't even realize that it's really that's the case, because a lot of people sometimes don't pay as well of attention to their pets as we do, just because we do it every day. So it's something that, is very familiar and easy for us to see. We look at a dog from snout to tail. It's what we do every time we're with them. It's just how, we're trained and how we work. And so you'd say, I've noticed Mrs. Smith, I've noticed that Fluffy is having a much harder time getting up from a seated position, and she seems to be having, a much harder time taking the stairs. This is key right here. You're asking permission to share something with them. You literally say, would you mind if I recommended something that has been a godsend to many of our clients, which, even though you're new, keep in mind, even though you're new, you're not lying, because we all, as an entire company, have a huge clientele of testimonials that you can go find on the website of how well these products have worked. So you're not lying by saying it's helped your clients, because it's helped, our clients as a whole. Okay. Would you mind if I recommended something that has been a godsend to our clients, and I really feel could have an impact on Fluffy's arthritis or Fluffy's well-being, or whatever verbiage you want to use further. And usually what happens is clients see us as the professionals, they see us as the experts, and they want to know what we have that other people have used and has worked that can help their pets. And the majority of the time, if you ask permission to share it with them, they will say, oh, you have something that you think could help Fluffy? I'd love to hear more about it. Can you please tell me more about it? And then you just literally go into more information about the products. And I mean, that has probably been like the verbiage of gold for me in my business, because people want what works. And what I would definitely recommend doing is figure out and maybe write down or go over each week until you really know, especially if you're a newer pet sitter, what different medications that are common that pets are on, or supplements that are common that pets are on, that are comparable to what we have. So for example, Fortiflora is supposedly comparable to our GastroPro Plus. However, Fortiflora is just like a probiotic, and we have a prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzymes, and herbs that help to soothe the gut, that would make it so much better of an option than Fortiflora for those pets. Or our joint support, as opposed to Dasequin, because our joint support has additional ingredients in it that target soft tissue inflammation that Dasequin does not have. So learning those different kinds of things is definitely something to have, in the back of your mind, as a little treasure chest, in your little treasure chest in your mind, like little just blips of things that you can help with. If you have dogs that are on Vetprofen, Carprofen, Rimadyl, things like that for inflammation or pain, that's something that they're great medications, but they impact their liver and kidneys. So they have to have blood work done every 3 to 6 months in order to maintain that type of medication. So our joint support is all natural. Joint support. Our Aches Away is all natural. So they don't have to have that type of testing done in conjunction with it. So understanding what your clients are on and what we have that can help, that either may not cost as much or may not do as much damage to their system and may help them potentially live longer is so important. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. Let me know if you need me to clarify anything in the comments. But for me, asking permission has been a huge thing, and knowing the things that are comparable that can really help. And then you can either even go one step further and say, if for some, you do the spiel and then you said, would you mind recommending? They say yes. You talk to them about the products and then you say, we have 100% money back guarantee. If for some reason it doesn't work with your angels, first of all, it's all natural, so it's not going to hurt them. And second of all, you'll get your money back and you won't even have to return the product. And a lot of times people will be all for something that is risk-free. And so you always, in every conversation, say, there's a happiness guarantee. You can say happiness guarantee. You can say money back guarantee. Another thing that Roger always talks about is the word confident. You can say, I'm confident that this is something that could have a potential impact on your pet's life. So that's another keyword that I know Roger talks about a lot. I don't use it as much. I've used it sometimes because I have, my own little verbiage of gold that I use, but that's another way of going into talking to clients, saying, I'm confident that I have something that may be able to help you. So did I miss something, Amber?
No, that was
Okay.
fantastic. I love the words to say and the experiences. I feel like, people can relate to that. So, and it's really interesting to hear your world. You guys really, I'm so impressed. Hats off to all of you pet sitters running all over to have, to take care of pets everywhere. It's really, I've had so many conversations with you in the car, huh, Carrie?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you guys, even if you're not using testimonials, if you have a story to share with someone once you start getting into this business and you get more and more testimonials, when you can share personal testimonials that have personal details, not only do you have more passion behind it that you can share, but you can also, emotion is a huge thing. Anytime you can add emotion and relatability to something that you're sharing, the more you're able to add those two things in, if something hits an emotional nerve with someone, they're connected to you and they want to know, someone else had this experience and it was good. How can I have this experience and have those results with my animal? So always consider, be relatable, inflict some sort of an emotional response, ask permission to sell, and then remember to say something about the guarantee.
Hey, so Carrie, I was looking for the PDF, which I just posted. I had to find the link. So I posted that in the comments. Did you share how you're operating now that you're in quarantine from home, not seeing them? Did you share that?
I will tell you that the power of getting on the phone is important. A lot of people don't like getting on the phone with people. They like doing more, texting or emailing, which is fine. But the more you get on the phone with people, and really have that personal contact and interaction with people, the more they're going to think, oh, that person thought of me. That person thought of my pet and how they could help my pet. And what I've been doing is saying, how I've kind of been introducing it to clients is saying, we're going through a really hard time. Whether you're out of jobs or you only have a few jobs left, say, we're all struggling in this. And we decided during this time that we were going to work on launching an additional service within our pet care businesses. And we would love to have the opportunity to talk to you about some products that we feel, I never call them products, I call them solutions, which is another thing too that takes the salesy verbiage out of things. So if you say, I feel like we may have some solutions that could help your pets during this time. Or sometimes you can call them and say, hey, this is just a check-in. I just wanted to check in, and I miss Fluffy so much. I just wanted to check in and see how she's doing. Gosh, I was thinking about her. How is her arthritis? I know it was pretty bad when I left. Has it gotten any better? Have you noticed a difference? Or have you noticed anything new with her since this whole thing started happening, now that you're home with her more? Have you noticed any changes? A lot of people are noticing that they're having to vacuum a lot more because they're noticing all the hair around the house more than they ever did before. And so the salmon oil is selling like you wouldn't believe right now. But yeah, if you're able to even check in on them and say, I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you guys. I really missed Fluffy. How's she doing? And then say, we just, during this time, we just partnered up with this amazing company with these all natural solutions. And I think I may have I think I may have just the thing that could help with Fluffy's arthritis. And then you go into would you mind if I talked to you a little bit more about it, or would you mind if I recommended something that has really been, a godsend to clients in general, and then go from there. But that check-in is so important. And then not only does that help your pottery business, but it also helps when you're looking to go back, because they think that person thought of me and wanted to keep connection to me to make sure that, we knew that they still cared.
Yeah, I love that. Now everyone's staying home. They're at home. So
Right.
I can
And a
guarantee.
lot of people have a lot more time to talk on the phone now too. And a lot of people, because they can't leave their house, they're like, oh, I have someone else that I can talk to. Like, oh, another human being that's not my husband. Oh, thank you so much for calling. It's so true. So people really, really appreciate that. I don't have anyone else's number. Do you work on an app, Keely?
Do you mean you only know, Facebook? Okay. That's okay.
Are you talking about clients? You don't have client numbers? Okay. So even if you don't have phone numbers, but you have some way of contacting them, do you have a way of contacting them in any way, shape, or form just to check in? I use the Facebook app. You mean like Facebook Messenger? Okay, that's okay. Even if you can't talk to them on the phone, what you may do is you may send them a message on Messenger and then in turn say, would you mind if I called and talked to you about something? And take them off of that Messenger and onto the phone. You don't always have to do things on the phone. You don't always have to do things on the phone, but it's definitely something that I feel really helps with like keeping those relationships and that customer service strong.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, keep those conversations going until, it makes more sense to talk on the phone. Sometimes I'll say things like, this would be so much faster if we chat. Do you mind if I give you a call? Or do you want to give me a call? But a lot of times they will move to the phone if you have been chatting for a little bit. And that's always the goal. And just because you're more authentic if you can hear somebody's voice, they can hear you, they can get to know you better. So yeah, Keely, definitely, if that's always the goal, my goal at least.
And I will say that the majority of our clients really do care about our well-being as well. Because we take such good care of their animals, they care about our well-being. So if they understand that we're struggling and we're trying to find additional ways to help their pets when we can't help their pets physically, they're in turn willing to, try new things or help that way, because they know that they're supporting a business that they may not be able to support right now with everything going on.
And such a great way to keep those relationships strong, so that when this is all over, they come right back to you as well. You definitely want to be doing that. I think everyone's trying to keep relationships going in some way. Okay, so now we have some time. Let's let's turn this into a Q&A little session now, Carrie, if that's okay with you.
Sure, sure.
We'd love to get any questions out there answered.
I know that you guys probably have a lot of questions, so I'm here to answer anything that you guys have that you can think of.
And we're really good about being patient. We're not afraid of a little bit of silence. Get some courage up to ask.
No, and I know that there's a couple of people on here that have been within the company for a little while. So even if, because this is being recorded, so like Kara or Taylor or Julie or even Kristen, anyone that's on here that has been around for a little while, if you can think of questions that maybe your pet setters that aren't on or your pet care providers that are not on have been asking you that you want to ask me so that it's recorded, we can do that as well.
Do you see where's your best resource to find testimonials?
So when you go onto the website, you can there's actually a testimonial section on the website. I'll show you. Okay, yeah. So Taylor can show you where the actual testimonial section is, but it's really cool because there's a list of all the issues and you can click on the issues and it will take you to the testimonials that specifically are related to those issues that you can share.
Great question. Okay, Tess was asking about professional images and documents to share with their clients. That's right, Tess, we can't forget.
Okay, so there is actually, Amber, are you able to put that up on the screen to show them how to get to their library?
If I had, yes, I can actually. Yeah, give me 1 second.
It's easier to see how to do it and to show you exactly how to kind of maneuver through it. But if you go into your back office, which if you do not know how to get into your back office yet, just reach up to your upline and they'll be able to help you, figure that out. But you get into your back office and then you have a dashboard that you have like all your sales numbers on. You have your, I
just went to pottery.com. Okay. Oh, I didn't log out last time, so I'm going to sign out.
We're talking about the library.
Yeah. So I'm signing in just like you would. Okay. And now I'm going to go to Pro Tools. So this is what you see. As soon as you sign in, this is what you see. Now I'm going to go to Pro Tools and I'm going to go to Library right there. And you can search for trainings and documents. Tess, if you're still here, give us an idea of what you would like to search for. You said documents. Is Tess still on? Let's see.
So let's just maybe just type in like paw pairings, because she's asking about like professional images and stuff that we can use. So not only can you use professional images out of your app, but this is going to be a place where you have like a plethora of information and images and things that you can use. So you just decide, you type whatever you're looking for, keywords or whatever. And then do you see all of these images that come up? You can use any of these. These are a part of, your business. You can use any of these. Not only do we have the images, we have some testimonial images. We also have video training from Brooke Sloat, who is our product developer. Do you see how it says product review, chillax, aches away, salmon drops with hemp CBD explanation right there? So that's just an example of, you can go and if you want to know something about a product, you go in there and you can watch her PowerPoint presentations. There's also things that are literally just, you see those like rainbow looking things that like the itches and twitches, it's allergy season, so on and so forth. Like those are like just verbal things. So what I used to do when I started, obviously we have a lot more time at home now, but when I started, the only time I had to really go through training for the products was during my drives. So what I used to do is set my phone up on my little phone thing in the car and sync it into my car and play the interviews and the explanations and whatever from Brooke during my commute or in between clients. Some of us are lucky to have a very small service area, so there's only like a minute or two in between clients, which is great, but I didn't have that luxury. And so when you have a little bit of a commute here and there, you're able to listen to things. Even if you have to do things around the house, if you want to have it on your cell phone and put a headphone in and, you know, do your chores around the house and listen to, you know, Brooke talk about product knowledge and things like that, that's great as well. So there's a lot of great resources that you can use, and you can use any of those professional images that you want. If you have your own personal testimonials with pets, the cool thing that I do want to mention is if a client has a positive experience and goes on and writes a testimonial, they get a free bag of treats. Which is another very cool thing, you know, a cool freebie for clients. But I would say that if you have personal testimonials from clients to share, you can use, and you get permission from them to use a picture or a video or whatever of their pet, you can, you know, apply that to a testimonial and use your own personal testimonials as well. A lot of times I feel like videos get a lot more of emotional connection attention than visuals, depending on what they are. A lot of times before and afters are super powerful when you're doing like, you know, social media type work, but videos are a huge thing as well. So you when you have a client say, would you mind videotaping them opening their POW box? I can't be there to watch them, but will you video? I would love to see how happy they are with their new package. And then, you know, you can post, you know, how happy so-and-so was with this and how it helped them and so on and so forth. But then people can have that emotion and that excitement and that passion added to that whatever experience they're having while watching the video. So it's a good idea to have, you know, don't always have the same professional type looking images. Sometimes if you have, you know, images that may not look so professional, they're real. They look real, and people want to see real things, not just professional ad type looking things that may come off a little bit more salesy in some area of things. So, and we have a ton. If you you guys are all a part of our team. So if you guys go into Amber, I think it's on your team page. So the Pottery Pet Pro team page, there are a lot of different like folders that you can look through, and one is like a before and afters photo. Is that correct, Amber? That's what I'm thinking.
We do have one. That one's been a while,
Yeah.
but we do have some good examples in there.
So you can utilize those samples that we have, and if you don't know where to find something, don't hesitate to ask one of us. Like, you need to understand that you're here because we're all on the same team together. So if for some reason your direct upline doesn't know something, come find one of us and we'll help you. Okay, so don't think that you're just limited to one person. You have an entire team that's behind you to help you.
Yeah, well said. So any other questions out there? We don't want to take keep this going too much longer. We're already at 55 minutes almost. So if you have other questions, hurry and put those in the chat. We'll just give you another minute to think. And I'm actually looking for those testimonials as well right now. We did have a compilation of them. And people have been posting them more recently as well. So I'll see if I can find those and move those to the top. But what a great night, Carrie. Thank you so much for all of your insight and your knowledge, and the other pet pros that were here that were able to help, and all of you new pet pros. We're excited to have you here, even if you're not new. Yeah, we just love you anyway. We're glad that you're here as well to learn. It's very important. But there are new names on here, like Emily. I'm pretty sure you're new. I don't know who's behind the Galaxy Note 8 and the iPhone, but Keely and Kristen, you've been moving along so quickly. And then Laurie, you're new. Anyway, we have other people waiting for this recording as well. So thank you for spending the time to be here, and we're just excited to get to know you and help you in any way we can. I echo Carrie and the fact that you can reach out to anybody, and we're happy to do whatever we can to support you. Okay, so thank you so much. Keely, you're welcome. Taylor, you're welcome. And iPhone, you're welcome too. So anyway, we're just glad that you were all here tonight, and we're excited to get to know you. So thank you. Carrie, any parting words you want to share with everybody?
I don't think so. Okay. Real quick. My recommendation for anybody that's starting that may want to decide to have some people on their team with them. And this is a very important recommendation. Do not post in forums and groups. Just don't do it. If you have like pet sitter forums, pet sitter groups, if you have people that you think would do well, bring it into a private message. Same thing is when you're on different forums in general, and you have someone that may be asking for recommendations for something, don't post your link. Take it into a private message, communicate with them personally. Because sometimes forums tend to have different types of people in them that sometimes make things negative, that shouldn't, because there's no reason for it to be. But we just want to try to keep everything as positive as possible. We're a very positive company, and so we just want to make sure that we stay that way. And so if you are in any type of groups or forums or anything like that, and you'd like to talk to people about either products or opportunities, even if it's a community group, I would highly recommend, just since we're doing a lot of things on the internet online right now, I would highly suggest people just private messaging people and talking to them that way, and getting people involved in things that way, as opposed to, posting your link out everywhere, or posting the opportunity out everywhere. Make things much more personal, and you'll get a lot further in the business. So
yeah, so great advice. And to find testimonials, you can find quite a few, actually. If you just go into the search, there's a search bar. Actually, I'll share my screen really quickly. So here's what the team page looks like. I'm glad you brought that up. And you just type in testimonial, and there's so many, and they come straight from the Pet Pros. This is not like on a website. This is specific people or Pet Pros. Do you see my screen? Okay, so you're gonna, that link that I posted in the page will bring you to this team page. You just go here to the search bar on the left, type in testimonials. Did I spell it right? Nope. And then you will have all sorts of things. Testimonials, you'll have photos, befores and afters.
Emily, if you're still on, this is what I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah, so just type in, and what I should do is go through and all these testimonials, just tag them as testimonials, and then people can search for them simply. I'll probably do that. But yes, some of these are from a while ago, but some are very recent. So anyway.
So to give you guys an example, Emily had sent me a message earlier saying, do you have any recommendations for a pet that has Cushing's disease? And my very first thing that I said to her was go on to either the Pottery Pet Protein group or even the corporate page group, because sometimes people will ask questions on there as well. And that's what you do. You go in and you would type, for example, Cushing's disease or Cushing's. And then any conversation that was related to Cushing's would show up on there. And you would be able to have personal testimonials and personal recommendations and experiences from the different pet pros that, that have had clients with those specific issues, that say what worked, what didn't work, what the vets had said about it, how the pets responded, and all that jazz. So it's definitely something that's super important to look into, and definitely utilize these groups as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
They're a really great resource.
Yep. Thank you so much, Carrie, for that. Okay, we're going to let you go for real now. Reach out if you do have questions, but we're so glad you've been here. It's been super fun. And Carrie, thank you again.
Sure, absolutely.
And we'll talk to you all soon, hopefully. Good luck, and yeah, let us know what we can do to support you, okay?